Alaikum wa rahmatullah. It's New Year's Day. It's the heart of winter, so I think I'm going to plant some garlic today. Before I plant my garlic, I'll give you an update on the last lot of garlic that I planted. So this is my garlic that I planted back in November time. As you can see, it's come up. Some of them are looking at about 4 or 5 inches long, and they're looking quite nice. So hopefully they'll go through the winter quite nicely. If we get some snow and we'll get some frost, they'll be fine through that. But this amount of garlic for me, it's not enough. We plant enough garlic. It's the one thing that we are self-sufficient on here, and that's our garlic. So we plant enough garlic to last us the full year. So that's one garlic bed. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to mulch where I had my runner beans last year, and I'm going to plant some more garlic. This is where I planted my runner beans last year. Things like this perennial weed, I'm going to just pull it out, because that'll come through any mulch that I'll put down now. I'm not going to use a lot of mulch. All I'm going to use is a bit of horse manure. There we go. So it was just left in the bags that it came in. So it hasn't broken down that well. All I'm going to do with it is spread it over the top of where I'm going to plant my runner beans next year. And by the time it comes to me planting my runner beans, this will all be broken down and it will all be nice into the soil, so it'll work quite well for me. This is the area that I had my runner beans in, so I'm just going to spread it across the top of that. It's looking like it hasn't broken down as well as I wanted it to. If I was gonna plant into this, but because I'm not gonna do this for a good few months, I think this is quite fine to just put it on now and just leave it like this. What I've got here is a pile of homemade compost mixed with some horse manure, and this is broken down a lot better. See that horse manure came at the same time as that. It was the same lot. But this stuff seems to have broken down better. I'm not sure exactly why. It was stored in exactly the same way, in the same place. So this is going on. There's a little cabbage there. That's not going to come to anything, so I'm just going to kill that. So this is crawling with worms. Spread that nice and evenly. And I think that's ready to plant. Now, the other things that I've got growing in this bed, I've got some chard down that front side, and that's good for picking all through winter. I'll keep picking at that. And then I've got the odd few runner bean plants. Broad bean plants. What I did was, just before, in about November time, I just randomly planted broad bean plants in random places, and hopefully by planting them in a mixed environment, especially with things like garlic, I'll try and limit the pests that come to them. And the other thing that I've got here is a load of radishes and some mustard, and that's just been used as a cover crop. Now this garlic is the same garlic that I planted into my middle bed, and it's the stuff that I've saved from my own seed. And you can see some of them have started to sprout, so that's going to help me out. Some of the cloves are quite big actually. They're quite a good sized clove. There's some that need to be opened up. Let's get these in. And I'm planting about 4 to 6 inches apart. I haven't planted garlic in this bed for a while now, so it'll make a nice change for this bed. Now the reason that I'm not planting in that, I was thinking about planting in that section there. By the time I'm ready to plant my runner beans again for next year, my garlic won't be quite ready, but by the time I'm ready to plant my squash and stuff like that, my garlic, I should have been able to harvest my garlic by then. So I'll be able to pull my garlic and then plant straight into it after. Let's get these in. And once the mulch is down, I don't want to walk on the beds. I don't want to walk on top of the mulch. See, I don't mind walking on it every now and then, but not when the mulch is down. not when that's on fresh. It's best not to walk on the soil at all, but there are going to be occasions when you're going to have to walk on it. Like with my beds, rather than go for optimal no-dig style and make them small beds so you can reach into them from the sides, I've gone for as big beds as possible to reduce the paths, so I don't lose growing space to footpaths. So all I'm doing with this garlic is I'm just getting it in, and I'm burying them about as deep as they are, just about. So with my garlic, if they're about just under an inch tall, what I'm doing is I'm burying them an inch and a half above its height. So I'm not planting into the mulch, I'm planting into the soil that's underneath. So the mulch will break down, go into feed the soil, and the soil will feed my plants. So just for ourselves, just to keep us going for the year, we plant about 2 kilos of garlic. And this is ordinary shop bought garlic. It's not fancy specialist seed garlic. I couldn't afford to do that with the amount of garlic that I grow. Because it is one of those things that we are self-sufficient in, and that's one thing that I am quite happy about with this. Some will tell you to plant a little bit further apart than I am planting for bigger bulbs, but I'd rather go for smaller bulbs and more garlic than bigger bulbs and less garlic. So for pound I end up with more. And I think I've got enough to just do that bit over there. And I'm not too bothered if the lines aren't perfectly straight, as long as they're wide enough for me to be able to get my hoe in between and make sure that I can weed in between when I need to. That's good enough for me. And we don't get that many weeds, to be honest with you. We will get the odd few weeds. A lot of it we can just pull by hand. Nearly planted that one upside down. Loads of horsehair in this manure. And it's always easier, when you are going like this no dig style and just mulching and planting into the mulch, because it saves a lot of time in preparing the bed. So I'm running out of space to plant the last bits of my garlic. So what I'm going to do is this little area here that I've been walking on, I'm just going to add some more mulch onto here, and the cover crops that were here, like these radishes, I'm just going to chop the leaves up like that. Just chop them at ground level. All this, just going to chop it at ground level. I can't find my secateurs, so my wife's going to kill me when she finds out that I'm using the kitchen scissors. So yeah, just chop them roughly like that. And I'm just going to get my compost, and that's just going over the top. There we go. Spread that out. Job's a good one. Look at that single clove garlic. Let's plant that one as an experiment and see what happens with that. I normally don't plant single clove garlic because they're nice and easy to peel, but yeah, let's see what happens with that one. I can hear the crunch of the leaf when I push down. I've just chopped up. Oh, the last two, I'll push one in there, and where can I put that one? I'll stick that one over there. That's it, done. And all I'm going to do, just roughly cover them over. And the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to take the back of the rake and just to cover them over. I could leave this, and if we were going to have rains or something, then the rains would drop everything into place and cover it up naturally. But here we go, we'll cover it up. So that's the last lot of my garlic planted. That should be enough to see us through the year. When it comes to springtime, we'll chop the rest of these cover crops down, and we'll get something else planted into that middle section. We'll get, and in late spring, early summer, we'll get the runner beans planted at the back. So I'm going to leave I'm not going to do anything else with this bed. It's got plenty of mulch on it, so I don't need to do anything else with it. I'm going to leave it there for this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.